This year, May 2025, had been an interesting month. We've had so many rainstorms. The saying of April showers bring May flowers might need to be changed to May brought showers, now we'll have June flowers. So I still have lots that I need to do in my front yard, but it looks pretty good so far, so I'm very excited about that. So this is what the front yard that I just planted to look like. I think I have some volunteer tomatoes popping up here from last year. But you see my basil, they were looking crazy. The few days we had dry weather, I did my best to get out in the garden and get some things done. And I thought I'd share with you some of my time in the garden with you. Last month, I planted some seedlings in my front yard. So much did not happen except for waiting for my garlics to be finished, weeding out some volunteer zinnia plants, and waiting for my flowers to all bloom so that my front yard could show its beauty. One thing when it rains is that it makes the garden look so lush and beautiful. I love that the flowers are starting to bloom. Yay for spring! Let's go to my backyard. This is where mostly food and herbs grow. I started collecting most of my herbs, using them for our meals and also for my morning teas. I believe in drinking herbal teas in the morning for my overall health. I also used herb in my baking of breads, and I also started drying some of my herbs for the future because most of the time I wait until the end of the year to start harvesting and dehydrating my herbs, and then I become very overwhelmed. So I am learning that this year I should start as early as possible. And since most of my herbs are at a good enough size that I can start harvesting a great amount of them. I wish I did collect rose petals so that I can make rose water, but I did not. But with all this new rain, we'll probably get more roses soon. So I made these two raised beds right here, and raised beds. They're not raised beds. I made these two beds. I actually wanted to make raised beds, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna plant some okra. So these are okra seeds that I saved from last year. So I have some regular, the green okras. I'm not sure of the name. Is it called Clemson? It's called something. I think it's Clemson. And then I have some Alabama red okra. I usually grow the Alabama red okras a lot more, and they normally do pretty good here. Not that many people in my household like okras. It's only a few of us, so I don't really grow a lot of them. We do 8 and 8 just so I can have, a variety, and it'll be kind of cool. We're on a bit of a hill, so yeah. I'm gonna plant them 6 inches apart, and I'm going to plant 2 seeds per hole.
I gotta walk, Mama.
Yeah. I am going to plant my Texas Golden watermelon. Going to plant this right here. I'm hoping that we do get a lot of rain. I'm putting 3 seeds. And yes, we got a lot of rain. So much rain that I don't even know what to do with the rain. But I am grateful for the rain because I know in the next few months we might have some dry weather. Cucumbers are one of my favorite vegetables. Well, wait a minute. It's a fruit, so my favorite fruit? I must admit, I did struggle growing cucumbers before for many reasons. Like, I used to start my plants too late, or I let the fruit ripen on the vine, and that's no good. So this year, I would like to grow more cucumbers, so I am. I decided to grow cucumbers in 2 places aside from my greenhouse. I am experimenting with growing a small variety on strings and bamboo. I also decided to try growing cucumbers on a cattle panel trellis. Well, it was a little bit difficult for me to set this trellis up because I am so accustomed to using zip ties to tie my T-posts to my trellis. But this time around, I decided to use those metal tie things that come with the trellis, and that was a bit difficult for me because I am not experienced in this area, but I got it done and I'm happy about that. So the cucumbers that I'm growing in this spot is called China Jade cucumbers. I've never tried this variety before, but I am excited to have it as a snack and to eat it in salads this entire summer. So pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. I had a raised bed which I decided to move again because previously I had blackberries growing in this area and they are back and taking over. And truthfully, I want to keep the berries for my children's sake because you can never have too much nature's candy. So I had to move all of the plants that was in that bed. It wasn't too many plants, just some kale and some elephant garlic that was in that bed. So I just removed them to a different area in the garden, and I was able to move that bed to plant new plants in there. I have a few plants that seem pretty stunted. I don't know why. But one of those plants is a pepper plant that I really desperately wanted. I bought them last year and all the seedlings died, and then this year I bought it again and then they're all stunted. I don't know why they're stunted, if it's because I had them in my house in a room that had Wi-Fi. I watched a clip of someone showing an experiment where the Wi-Fi was on and the plants were not growing, but when the Wi-Fi was off, the plants started growing. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I kind of doubt it because I've had these plants outside for a few weeks. So it could be just the soil, but either way, my solution for that is always to transplant into the ground and eventually they take off, and I'm hoping that this will be the situation here. So I am placing them in the newish bed, or the bed that's in this new location. I also took some holy basil that was also in my yard. They're all volunteer plants, and I am also placing them into that same bed. And that is what I did for the month of May. I felt like I didn't do as much as I wanted to, I guess because it rained so much. My goal for the month of May was to fill my greenhouse with plants I had in my planner. So I transplanted my tomatoes, my peppers, marigold, and basils. There were a few tomato volunteer in perfect spots along with a sugar baby watermelon plant. So I was not complaining about that, even though I'm not really sure what tomatoes they are, but I can guarantee that it's probably a cherry tomato. So right now I am just waiting for the rest of my spring crop to be finished so that I can fully transition the greenhouse to all of my summer crops. This will be my first time having the greenhouse this spring, summer. So far, everything is growing so well. It's not the best greenhouse, but it's doing its job at this time. So I thank you so much for watching this video. Happy gardening. Bye.